Hi everyone, it's Michael here. Great to have you on this webinar. It's been a little while since we last probably spoke. Just let me know where you're joining me from. You can just type into the chat the city and the country. It'd be great to welcome you to the presentation. Hi Lottie. Hope I'm coming through loud and clear. Hi Michelle. Hi Martin. We'll give everyone a few minutes to join us. Hi from the UK, Norway, Adelaide, Sweden, London, France. So we've got a multinational audience today. Hi Jerry from Tamworth and Aussie, Florida, welcome. Early for you. England, really appreciate you taking time out. Hi Tino. Really excited to share this information with you today. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people get some better results. Nigeria, so we've got Africa, we've got Europe, we've got Australia, North America. And I'm joining you from Asia today, so we've sort of almost covered all continents. Haven't got Latin America yet, but who knows, we might get them as well. Hi Paul, another Queenslander. Finland, fantastic. So Scandinavia. Let's give it another minute and we'll get underway, folks. Last chance to reach out to anybody that you might want to let know about the webinar. We'll get underway. And just give me a rating out of 10, how my audio is coming through. Let me know that it's 10 being really good, that it's clear. Hope that's just Australian internet. Hi Jesper from Denmark, welcome. Okay, let me just get my presentation ready. Okay, so just give me a yes in the chat if you can see the slide that says webinar. Fantastic, thanks for all the rating out of 10. I like to be rated a 10. And just give me a yes if you can see the slide. Hi Paul, the webinar slide. Okay, fantastic, thank you. Okay, well, as you know, I do like to start on time because I appreciate that you've come here on time as well. Today is really to help you how to get better results with your marketing with WealthBoss. I'm going to focus on some principles that I work on that have worked very well for me. Some of the things you may have heard before, some of you may not. I've got a simple approach to how I go about these things. Our intention today is basically to teach you how to attract the right people, not convince the right people, how to attract the right people, saying as little as possible, and why most people are promoting the wrong way, and how to write posts that engage people, and why less is more. So give me a 5 if that is something that's actually attractive to you, if you'd like to learn how to get more results saying less. And the reason, I was forced to go down this path. I had to stutter for a lot of my life when I was younger, and I wasn't able to verbalize what I wanted to say, and I had to learn to keep things very concise. Hopefully I would get it out the first time, and don't ask me to actually repeat what I said because it was hard enough to get out the first time. So I learned very early in life to be very concise with my words. So here are some of the fundamentals of the way that I do my marketing. Fundamentals are, when you're reaching out to people, at the end of the day, we're trying to actually attract people who recognize the opportunity to as their personal wealth and that to build that, and where they want to also recommend it to other people as well. So you've got to solve their problem, not your problem, their problem. You've always got to consider what's in it for me. In other words, the person you're talking to, what's in it for them. That's all they care about, not you, them. Questions are the answers. People do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Focusing on benefits versus features. and remembering that facts tell and stories sell. So I'm going to go into a bit more depth on each of these topics now. Okay, so solving their problem. Your goal in your marketing is basically to solve somebody's problem. And why you're involved is not their reason. A lot of people, when they're promoting to other people, actually assume that everybody wants the same thing that you want. And the reality is that people's reason for being involved in an opportunity like this are multifaceted. Some want time freedom, some want income, some like the actual social interaction, yes, it's being recorded. Some like recognition. Some people will walk over, some people will go out of their way for recognition because they don't get any recognition. Some people like to just help other people. Some people like to make a difference in the world. Some people like the opportunity to actually grow personally and to learn. So remember that your reason for being involved with WealthBoss is not necessarily somebody else's reason, and you've got to go there and find what their reason is. Your role is not to sell them anything. People don't want to be sold, so don't try and sell them. 90% of people don't see themselves as salespeople and don't want to be seen as a salesperson. So, don't act like a salesperson. How do you feel when you walk into a shop and the sales assistant immediately is all over you trying to push you into buying something? You're probably going to leave the store or just say, "I'm fine, thanks, I'm just looking." So don't approach people with that regard. Your role is not to convince anybody. Your role is to help somebody make an informed decision where they can see that you've got the solution to something that they need. So your role is to identify their need and offer a possible solution. And you may not have the solution. It is an actual numbers game. The more you work the numbers, the more chance that you're going to actually attract the people that want what you've got. And the better you get at this, the better your numbers will work for you. So you might have 1 in 10 people that you actually approach who end up doing something with this. Might be 1 in 20. But as you get better at what you do, those numbers will work in your favor. But at the end of the day, if you do get 1 in 10 and you need 6 people to be diamond, what do? You talk to 60 people until you've got the 6 people. It is a numbers game in the end. But your role is simply to help people make an informed decision and own that decision. Big thing there. Help them make an informed decision and own that decision. I never take responsibility for people's decision. I always lead with people and say, this might be for you, it may not be for you, but I wouldn't be sharing it with you if it wasn't worthwhile. So that's the critical thing, that it might be for somebody, it might not be for somebody. It may be somebody, it might not be somebody, but I wouldn't be sharing with it. My actual posture is I'm there to help them make an informed decision and then take responsibility for the decision that they make. So you've got to be thinking when you're talking to this person, this is what they're thinking. This is what the person is thinking. How will this help me? How will this solve a problem? So you've got to always be thinking, put yourself in the shoes of the other person, disengage your own agendas. Most people listen with an intention to reply. They're not really listening. They're just waiting to share their view of the world or share what they know, and they're not really paying close attention to what other people are saying. So they're thinking, how will this help me? They're thinking, can I do this? Are others succeeding with this? How do I do this? Will somebody help me? So when you're doing your marketing, the key thing is think about those questions or the objections that people may have and try and solve those before they even get raised. So your job is to try and identify what their need is and show this how this could be a possible solution. Let them know that other people are being successful at this. Let them know that you're going to help them and you'll show them how to take best advantage if they choose to be involved. And let them know that we understand they could be new to this and may not know much about it, but with knowledge and help, they will be able to do this. So always think about what's in it for me. It's also important to understand that questions are the answers. You can't actually provide the solution if you don't know the problem. There is not one solution fits all. There's not one pair of shoes that's going to fit all feet. So you've got to stop thinking with your marketing that one post, one video, one sales funnel, one email is going to be the thing for everybody. It doesn't work that way. We're all very unique. If I asked you all, the 33 on this call today, why you got involved in this opportunity, really got involved, what your why is, it'll be 33 completely different answers. So stop thinking that you have to have this magic little script or this magic little video or post or email or message or system that works for everybody. It doesn't. So you've got to spend some time asking questions. And it's not about the 20 questions and bombarding people. It's actually taking genuine interest to get to know people. Things like, there's an acronym called FORM. F for family. Learn what's motivating their family. Do they get enough time with their spouse? Do they have enough time with their kids? Do they have any children? O for occupation. Do they like what they do? How long have they been doing it? What would they do if they weren't doing what they're doing right now? What would they love to do? R, recreation. What do they like doing when they're not working? What would they like to do that they don't get time to do right now that would bring them a lot of satisfaction and pleasure? And form is actually material desires. What are their material desires? If they had more income, what would they be buying? What things would make them happier? So you don't know that unless you ask the questions. So you can't provide the right answer without unless you fully understand. Answer if you do not fully understand the question. Seek to understand so you feel understood. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Too many people have got acting like they've got 2 mouths and 1 ear. So basically, the key here is twice as much listening. It's like an onion. You want to peel off layers, layer by layer, to learn more about a person. So if somebody talks about their career, you might ask, what made them choose that career? What do they love about that? Why did they get involved in that? And how's it going for them? If they had an option to redo things over again, what would they have chosen if they're not doing what they're doing now? Have they thought about actually self-employment if they're working for somebody else? If they own a business, if they had a choice to start over again, would they still do the same business? What do they like about what they're doing? What do they don't like about what they're doing? Ask questions like where people live. What made you choose the place where you live? Is it because of your work? Is it because you love living there? Is it because of family? You had no choice. It was cheap. It's all your actually budget allowed you. Find out more about the person. It's not trying to make them share their every detail about them. But if you take a genuine interest in people, then people will generally see you fascinating. There was a psychologist who was on a flight, and he was on a flight from Los Angeles to New York. It was a 6-hour flight. And he was given a task to talk to the passenger next to him and not disclose anything about himself. So he spent the entire 6 hours just in a dialogue with this person, asking them about their life, where they worked, their family, their job, what they like doing in the time off. They interviewed the passenger after he got off the plane. And they said, what do you think of the guy sitting next to you? He was he was talking to you. And the passenger said he was the most fascinating person he'd ever met. And he said, well, what's the person's name? Oh, don't really know. What does he do? Not really sure. Where does he come from? Not really sure, to be honest. This person, the actual psychologist, disclosed nothing about himself. He just took a genuine interest in the passenger next to him, and that person found him the most fascinating person he'd ever talked to. People find you interesting when you stop talking about yourself. I'll say it again. People find you fascinating and interesting if you stop talking about yourself. Stop making the focus about you and make it about somebody else, and take a genuine interest in people. People do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. A lot of people get caught up on verbal diarrhea. They think they need to dump all the information on somebody to get that person over the line. Take some time to know what that person really wants. Your role is not to impress them with how much you know. In fact, the more you know, the harder it is to duplicate. When I got involved in network marketing when I was 27, I was working as a health practitioner, doing massage work and herbal medicine and nutritional advice. And I was selling health products in network marketing when I started when I was 27. And I was very knowledgeable. I was actually a qualified professional. And so people would say to me, it's easy for you, Michael, to market these health products because you're actually a health practitioner. And a light bulb went off. I realized that the reason my business was not growing to the level I wanted to, I would duplicate a few levels and I couldn't seem to grow beyond that. And what I realized is my qualifications and my knowledge, I would give these great 2-hour presentations explaining everything about health and why they needed these products. And they would buy the product, but nobody would feel comfortable telling anybody else because they couldn't duplicate my qualifications. They couldn't duplicate my years of experience. They couldn't duplicate my all the knowledge I had. So I stopped giving people information from me and I started letting tools do the work for me. It's the same with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. If you try and dump too much information and be an expert on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, people will actually be impressed with your knowledge, sure, but they won't be able to duplicate you. They'll never feel that they can actually do what you're doing. Let the tools do the talking. As I said, having a stutter when I first got involved in network marketing, I was having a hard enough time getting my name out, let alone doing a presentation. So that was in the days of audio cassettes and video cassettes. There was no internet. It was back in 1990. And basically, I had to learn to let tools do the presenting, a brochure, a booklet, a video cassette, audio cassette. Thankfully, we live in the digital age of the internet, and now there's so many different ways you can share information. But anybody can share a tool, but only a few can explain everything well like the tool does. If you share the tool doesn't have an actually bad hair day. It doesn't get angry or sad. If you have a fight with your spouse, it's not going to affect your presentation. You know, if you're feeling actually run down and tired and didn't get a decent night's sleep, it doesn't matter. A tool just performs at the same level every single time. I can spend 1 hour trying to explain everything to somebody, or I can spend 1 hour, I can spend 5 minutes per person sharing a tool and having them go away and spend their time and possibly share it with 10 people in an hour versus one person. Duplication is the path to time and financial freedom. So the sooner you get to a point of duplication and make that the thing that you master, that's when you get true time leverage and financial freedom. Otherwise, if your business is dependent upon you, your knowledge, your skill, and your experience, you've just got yourself a job in a different form, because your business growth will be completely dependent upon you. So the minute you stop, your growth will stop. The sooner you get you out of the way, the faster you will duplicate. Yes, you want to build your brand. Yes, you want to be a leader, but don't make your success dependent upon you. Don't make your team's ability to go and do what they need to do dependent upon you. Teach people to follow a system and leverage tools, and that way you will be able to actually go on vacation for a month and your business won't fall apart while you're away. Benefits versus features. Benefits focus on the person you're talking to. What's in it for them? How will it solve their problem? Features focus on you selling. So people who focus on features because they're not determined, maybe not focused. People focus on features because they're not focused on how others can benefit. So in other words, they haven't taken the time to understand what the person wants. So rather than getting down to, okay, I've listened to you and now I understand what you need, these are the benefits that could solve your problem, you just try and impress them with numbers on the compensation plan and how much percentage they're going to get ROI and the background of the company and who owns it and all that sort of stuff. And to be honest, it's actually irrelevant. As long as people can see that this is a genuine way that benefits them and solves their problem, the facts don't matter that much because the business model is proven. I mean, WealthBoss has been paying out for over 10 months now, every day. The commissions get paid out every day and every week. So it's not, I'm on trial anymore. With Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it's not on trial anymore. You don't have to actually defend it. It's valid. There's lots of validation all around us. So you've just got to take some time to focus on how this can benefit them. Facts versus stories. There's an old saying that facts tell, stories sell. Become a professional storyteller. When you first begin an opportunity like this, you don't have a success story because you're new. And that's okay. Be authentic about that. When you talk to new people and say, how's it going for you? You can say, I've just begun. I'm working very closely with some people who have been successful in this, and they're showing me how they did it. And there's an opportunity for you as well to join me in that process and also benefit from their experience and their success. So you tell other people's stories, which means you need to go and gather the stories of your upline. Go and find out how they're doing, why they got involved, how they did what they do, what sort of professions they're in, and you've got some stories to tell. People love to hear success stories. We actually go to the cinema. We love to watch movies where we see people who come from nothing to somewhere. People who did things other people wouldn't dream of doing. We love to hear about the success story. We love to hear other people's stories. So gather stories, not facts. Facts just tell. Stories actually get the emotions involved. People don't make decisions based on logic. They make their decisions based on emotion. You've got to trigger their emotions, not logic. Because if it's just about what percentage we're paying on each level in the comp plan or how much ROI we're paying every day, trust me, as soon as somebody else comes along with a slightly bigger ROI every day, or someone's compensation plan pays a little bit more on the direct bonus or a bit more on the matching bonus, you've got nothing more to tell. You got nothing. You can't argue with that if somebody has bigger numbers than you. So the numbers actually don't matter. Okay, build a story. You want to build your brand. You want to become the go-to person in your circle of influence with Bitcoin. You want to be the person that people go, you know what, you're always talking about this Bitcoin thing. I can see you've got a strong interest in this. Can you tell me how it works? Because I see in WealthBoss, our job is to help people get started in Bitcoin or help people already involved in Bitcoin to do better with the Bitcoin they already have. Building your brand builds trust and influence. Influence is where you actually have that rapport with people and they look up to you, and when you say something, they take notice. That takes time. It's a consistent application of effort and a persistent application as well. That's one thing I'm very good at. I wouldn't say I'm the most talented person in the world, but I am very consistent and I'm very persistent. And I just keep chipping away. And I recognize that results typically follow 30 to 60 days later. If you take massive action today and you do that for the next 30 days, you will see about 30, 60 days after that, the result of what you did. But most people don't have patience. They want instant results. They want to put a post up and magically people just join without asking any questions. They don't have to talk to anybody. Sorry, folks, that doesn't happen. It's very rare. In my situation, most people who get involved, and I probably enrolled about 150 people with WealthBoss, is that it took the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, sometimes the 10th time that I was in dialogue with them before they got involved. Branding yourself is a never-ending process. You don't build a brand instantly. So what you need to do is be consistent. People are looking at you all the time. And if you're marketing a different opportunity every week and you're not being consistent with your message, people will see that you aren't a consistent person. And why would they follow somebody who's not consistent? If I follow somebody who's going to help train, coach, and mentor me, I want somebody who knows where they're going and is going to stay around long enough to give me a chance to be successful. So who you follow is really important as well. So I want to talk a little bit about Facebook. Today, I won't be able to cover everything. It's the first session, and I don't want to take too much of your time today. But Facebook is probably one of the things that I've leveraged quite a bit. It's, there's billions of people on Facebook, and it's a really good way to invoke interest. But the principles I'm going to talk about, you can apply in many other forms of social media or other types of marketing. First thing is, don't flood your timeline with opportunity-related posts. If I go to somebody's profile and every post is just shoving things down my throat and opportunity, or when I add somebody as a friend and immediately they're messaging me 5 pages full of pre-built posts with screenshots and lots of text and emojis, the rest of it's like, you don't know anything about me. You don't even know if I was looking for an opportunity, and you're already pushing things down my throat. Well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to be wanting to do much with that person. So think about what your timeline looks like. Maybe you need to go back and clean up your timeline and think about what message are you conveying, and are you actually being professional with your timeline? There's an old rule that says, post 4 things that add value to other people. It could be inspiration, motivation, education, things like that. 4 posts that add value and build your brand, and 1 post is a call to action. So 1 in 5 is like you're teasing people to want to do something, but everything else is just helping people gain more knowledge, more awareness, and to build your brand. So your role with these posts is to tease people, entice them, and create curiosity, not to sell them, not to get somebody to join up. I see all those posts, they go into great detail of all the features of their plan and their product, and click here to join my business. I have not joined any business in the last 29 years in network marketing because someone shoved a post on Facebook. I don't know about you, maybe you have, but I certainly haven't. I check things out. I want to know who I'm getting involved in and what sort of person they are. So I want to look at a few posts, okay? These were posted in a group we've got that is designed to target people that are interested in Bitcoin, okay? Interested in growing Bitcoin and earning Bitcoin. And I'm not here to criticize anybody, so please, if you recognize the post as being one of yours, don't be offended, okay? Today is not about being critical, it's about helping to expand your mind. So, okay, listen up. If you've been invited to this group to see this opportunity actually works, then I can tell you absolutely does, and some. Started 6 months ago, bought a few blocks and shared opportunity with a few others, helped others do the same. So simple. Now, overall, this post is not so bad. But remember, you've got to think about who is reading this post. So when we talk about blocks, before you got involved with WealthBoss, the only blocks you probably knew about were the blocks that built your home, or Legos or other things. The block means nothing to somebody who is not already involved. Wealth blocks mean nothing to anybody who's not already involved with WealthBoss. So as much as, yes, this post is enticing, I'm making $32 a day, stating that I've got 221 wealth blocks means absolutely nothing. It's like actually speaking a foreign language. It might as well be Japanese on the screen. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, so just think about that for a minute. Here's another post. I'm only just getting started, so excited for the future. I started with 5 wealth blocks and they earn me money while I sleep. I love it. Our system is just unbelievable. Our system rocks. Daily returns from our own blocks. Now again, not bad, pretty good, but again, wealth blocks. We're talking to people who don't know anything about WealthBoss. This is their first, imagine this is their first look. They don't know what wealth blocks are. Purchase history. So straight away you're sending a message of buying something. Remember, you haven't built the relationship. You haven't found out what they're about. You haven't actually enticed anybody yet. So don't put a sales image in there, which is about buying, and using terminology that means nothing to the person who's reading this post. Here's another one. I can't explain how overwhelmed and excited I am right now. I started in the beginning with only 1 pack. I now have 44. Since the new comp plan came in 2 weeks ago, I've been able to rebuy 15 packs in just 2 weeks. This system is insane. And with Bitcoin on the rise, I can't wait to see what's to come and how it's going to help so many people. I've never seen a platform opportunity like this. Guys, hold on to your hats. Ladies, secure your tinas in place. And it's going to be a wild and exciting race, I think it is. If you haven't jumped over the fence yet, please don't wait. Now, again, not bad, but again, we've talked about comp plan. So straight away, we're talking about, compensation plan, or what is a comp plan to somebody who's not involved in network marketing, or somebody who may not have a great view of network marketing initially, or maybe a bad experience. As soon as they see comp plan, they're immediately, all those bad memories are circulating, okay? Packs. 15 packs, rebuys. What does rebuying 15 packs mean? But what it really means is that you are able to take some of your earnings and reinvest them, in a sense of take that Bitcoin and grow it using the power of compounding. Same thing, but a different way to say it. So again, not a bad one. And again, that screenshot. What does 44 wealth blocks actually mean to anybody, and what is purchase history? Remember, every word that's on the screen in your post is going to create a word picture, and it's either going to invoke good emotions or bad emotions, particularly based on people's past experience. Okay, again, it's accurate, but it means nothing. Compounding 100%. Compounding what? What am I compounding? What are wealth blocks? What's my compounder balance, total number of wealth blocks, purchase history, overview, commissions? Again, I'm not being critical here. I'm just trying to get you to see that what you post will either confuse people, or their eyes will roll over and they'll just move on, or they're going to be enticed. Woke up to another wealth block, added automatically by the compounder using returns. Truly set and forget. Love it. Great, a good message, but woke up to more Bitcoin, automatically growing thanks to the power of compounding. Truly loving how automated this process is. Says the same thing, but it's in a common layman's language. Another post, $1,670 of matching bonus, just helping people get started earning money and reaching blue or black diamond, blah, blah, blah. Again, if you're a network marketer, maybe that'll be interesting, but what does blue or black diamond mean to somebody who knows nothing about what we're offering? Matching bonus or matrix payments or global bonus payments. See, these are features, they're not benefits. Whereas it could be just earn over $1,600 helping other people earn Bitcoin, right? Love helping people make more Bitcoin and being successful. Same thing. Earning daily rocks. Getting daily earnings from this program and sharing it with other people is putting more Bitcoin in my pocket. The more I share and the more others share, the more my Bitcoin grows. In fact, just by simply helping 5 people, I got paid some extra Bitcoin. See what I mean? It's simple language. It's like having a conversation with somebody, not trying to talk WealthBoss language. Otherwise, it's like WealthBoss language becomes another foreign language to people. This is so addictive. I started with 1 block about 6 months ago. Now I've set my goals. I've reached 25. Next is 50. Now, it could be saying, this is so addictive. I started with a little bit of Bitcoin 6 months ago, and now I've set my goals and I've multiplied that by 25 times in 6 months. My goal is to multiply that 100 times. Give me some feedback here, folks. Let me know that is this good stuff, okay? I'm giving you examples here. I'm going to give you a few more as well, and this will actually be recorded, but, is it making sense now? You're starting to think about putting yourself in the shoes of the person who's reading this. I withdrew my first little chunk of money yesterday. So exciting. Again, not bad. It doesn't mention anything, and it's an example. Withdrew my first little bit of Bitcoin yesterday. Just one day of earnings from this lucrative opportunity that multiplies my Bitcoin every day and pays me additional Bitcoin every day, simply helping others multiply their Bitcoin. Are you earning Bitcoin daily? Have you got a vehicle to multiply your Bitcoin? Maybe it's time you did. Again, just an example. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few little posts, okay? A few little teasers that you could post on your timeline. And again, don't post and think I need to get a sign up out of this post. This post is about enticing people. Love waking up each day to more Bitcoin earnings. That's your post, nothing more. So glad my friend showed me how to take advantage of this Bitcoin thing. Feeling excited to see my Bitcoin balance go up every day and see Bitcoin go up in price. My friend told me it would be easy to earn Bitcoin every day, but this is ridiculously easy. Are you starting to get an indication? These are not, we're not talking about WealthBoss, wealth blocks, compensation plans, who the owners are, it doesn't matter. Just help another person get started with Bitcoin, feeling good. So glad I found someone to help me take advantage of this Bitcoin thing, easier than I thought. They said growing your Bitcoin was a no-brainer. I laughed, but it's true. It's a no-brainer if you know how. So with Facebook, you can create actually polls. So you can create a poll, for example, to see who's interested in crypto. So you might do a poll and say, yes or no if you've got an interest in crypto. So you get to find amongst your friends what their interest level is. Who owns some crypto? Wouldn't it be better to talk to people who already own some crypto than those who know nothing? Who's involved in a crypto business? If they're already involved in a crypto business, it means that they already have an interest in making money with Bitcoin and doing a business. The best Bitcoin wallet or exchange? Well, guess what? If they have a Bitcoin wallet or exchange, it's likely that they previously bought Bitcoin, sold Bitcoin, transferred Bitcoin, owned Bitcoin, or love Bitcoin. Make sense? You can use instant message as well with those same posts. When I got involved with WealthBoss, I did a whole series of little posts like that on my Facebook timeline. And I also messaged people that I had chatted to about crypto in the past. And I messaged them, I looked at my WhatsApp chats, Line, WeChat, Skype, Facebook Messenger, Telegram. There's lots of different ways message systems out there. But think about all the people that you have talked to and just drop something in their inbox. I follow up people relentlessly. And I don't mean that I badger them. When I'm out at the shops, and let's say my girlfriend's shopping and she wants some time to herself, I'll just sit on my phone and I'll follow up a few people and I'll just send a little message to them about, that Bitcoin thing I talked to you last month? Going fantastic. Hope things are going well on your side. End of message. You asked me to tell you, how that Bitcoin opportunity I was involved in was going. Just wanted to touch base. Really, really happy. Hope things are going well for you. Build relationships and start conversations. That's what it's all about, folks. It's a long-term process. You want to build up a pool of relationships, not sign-ups. If you get enough people and you build relationships, they will ultimately get involved in their own timing when it's right for them, not when it's right for you. And if you've got so many people to follow up, you won't be worrying about who's joining and who's not. You'll just be busy working with people. What I would recommend, we've now got the shuffle system, which is basically like a digital business card and a contact management system and lots of other things. So when you've got interest, so you've done a post and somebody's responded and say, hey, Michelle, what is it you're doing with this Bitcoin? Or tell me more about what you're up to. You can send them your shuffle card, which has a bit of information to tease them so they can know more. It allows the shuffle to do the explaining. Remember, the tools do the talking. And you've captured that person in your shuffle system for future follow-up. So you've got basically the tool and centralizing your follow-up and your data in one place, which you can access by your phone or by your actual browser on your tablet or your laptop or your desktop. Also understand the power of a three-way call. I got involved in network marketing. I used to think that a three-way call was ganging up on somebody. And in fact, the telephone was very challenging. I get on the phone, no words would come out. I would stutter and block. I put the phone down. I'd ring them back. It's Michael, and basically I say, okay, it's Michael. How are you going? And I'd learned to get other people on the call. The reason you do a three-way call is you want to leverage the third-party expert. When you're new in this, you don't have the answers, and you shouldn't be expected to. But you've got an actual support team that you can get on a Zoom or on a WhatsApp or on a Skype call. There's many chat services now, or call services, that give you the ability to put a third party on. And you want to bring that person in. So if I'm following up Lottie, I might say to her, Lottie, I know you've got questions, and I'm just fairly new at this, and I want to make sure you get the right answers. Would it be okay with you if I bring on Michelle onto this call, because she's doing really well with this and she really knows her stuff, and it's really important to me that you get accurate answers. Would that be okay? And then I bring Michelle onto the call and I say, hi, Lottie, this is Michelle. She's been working closely with me. She's been training and coaching and mentoring me. I'm really enjoying the experience. Michelle, this is Lottie. Then I shut up and get out of the way and let Michelle take over and answer the questions. And she can edify me as well. So edify the expert, pass the baton onto the third-party expert and let them do the job. Anybody can do that. That means I can take a brand new person who knows absolutely nothing and help them get started. Zoom, I use a lot. Zoom.us, I think it is. It's a great online service. It's free. You can get free 40-minute sessions, as many as you want. And it's a great way to build global. And building global is important because you reduce your risk. If your market is totally in your own home country, if the economy of that country had a problem, or if there was an actual natural disaster, or the country banned Bitcoin or whatever it is, your business is screwed. But if you've got a global team, your business is not dependent upon one jurisdiction and it's working multiple time zones. So when I wake up in the morning, I've got stuff that's been happening while I've been sleeping. And while I'm awake, other people are sleeping. So build a global business, and Zoom's a great way to do it. There is no magic bullets, people. There's the old principle, feed a fish versus teaching people how to fish. Don't do everything for other people. Build people up. Empower your team to learn how to be self-sufficient. This is a process. And a lot of people say, I don't want to talk to people. Well, I was terrified of talking to people. Honestly, nothing more terrifying when you're going to talk to somebody and the words don't come out and you're breaking out in a sweat and your hair's on end and trust me, there was times it was terrifying. But you know what? When you get the focus off yourself and start to think about somebody else and how you can help them, it changes your paradigm. Learning how to effectively market and use systems is the only way you'll be independent. I've now developed the skill sets that I can, with a phone and a laptop internet connection, I can operate from anywhere in the world. I can move location every day of the week, anywhere in the world, and still be effective. When you do that, that's when you have true freedom. So learn how to generate income as well, independent of the product or the opportunity. In other words, don't make this WealthBoss centric. Learning these skills basically will help you in any opportunity. No one's got a crystal ball for the future. We are very optimistic about WealthBoss and where it's going. But I'm just being brutally honest. I've been in business now for 35 years, network marketing 29 years. Nobody knows the future. But if you develop your knowledge, your skill, and your experience that you can market any product, you can market any opportunity, no matter where you are in the world, 24/7, that is a skill that will last for eternity, for your entire lifetime, versus an opportunity. The last thing I want to say, and I'm going to do another session on this, is you don't need to mention WealthBoss in your initial marketing. When I enrolled 150 people, 90% of those people got involved, not even knowing what the name of the company was. Honestly, they didn't even know the name of the company. I'll give you an example. This is the analogy that I use. If you're an Aussie and you were driving from Perth on the west coast to the east coast of Sydney every day, back and forth each week, and you didn't know there was aeroplanes, you didn't know about aeroplanes, and I came along to you and said, hey, Lottie, rather than driving from Perth to Sydney and back every week, why don't you fly? Oh, what's flying? Well, you hop on this thing called an aeroplane. It takes you 6 hours rather than 3 days, and they give you food. You can watch a movie. You can put your seat back and have a sleep, and you get there refreshed and comfortable. How does that sound? Sounds absolutely fantastic. Okay, well, let's talk about the different ways you can get there. You can fly Virgin, you can fly Qantas, you can fly Jetstar, and different airlines. What a lot of people do is they start talking about airlines before they even know if the person wants to fly. If Lottie says to me, there's no way you're going to get me up there at 30,000 feet. Sorry, I don't care if it gets me there in 6 hours rather than 3 days. I'm not doing that. Then me trying to sell her on which airline makes no sense. It's the same with this. If you don't have the person interested in Bitcoin and seeing this as a good opportunity to be involved in the crypto space and understand how this could multiply their Bitcoin and the benefits of doing that, it doesn't matter whether it's called WealthBoss or iLine or XYZ or ABC. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. So think about that. You don't need to talk about the name of the company. The same as who owns the company and who manages it. I want you to think about this. Think about the big companies out there that are brand names. How many times have they had a new CEO, a new board, new management, even changed ownership? Yet the brand still exists. The opportunity still exists. So again, don't make it too centric around individuals, because individuals come and go. But the brand and opportunity is the thing that we want to last. We don't know what the owners of Bitcoin have planned for the future in their own personal life. Stuff can happen. People can get, people's wives or husband can get critically ill, and all of a sudden they've got to leave the business to take care of that person. Whatever it is. All I'm saying to you is these are realistic things. You don't have to worry about who's running the company. You don't have to worry about the name of the company is. Don't focus on the compensation plan and what percentages they pay, because again, as soon as somebody comes along with what looks like a better number, you've lost your argument. So I'm going to do a next session on how to market as well without mentioning the brand, and talk about some other ways to market. But I hope today is about 45 minutes, so it's probably long enough. I'm going to take a few minutes of questions. Yeah, okay, so Chris, how do you talk about other failed businesses? Well, the reality is other failed businesses are other failed businesses. They're not this business. So what you have to do is talk to the person and say, what went wrong with that business? If you had a chance to do it again. In other words, all of us have had experiences and opportunities that didn't last, and they've cost us money, right? So what I say to people is, if you had a chance to do it again, what questions would you ask this time that you didn't ask last time? What things would you look for in an opportunity this time that weren't there last time? See, I want to ask questions, but what most people do is they immediately put their actual judge's wig on and all their legal books, and they start to defend the opportunity. Stop answering the question or the objection. First, understand what happened. What happened and what would they do differently? And then you can say, okay, so if you were to find that this opportunity addressed all the things that you're looking for, would you get involved? Would you get involved? Because frankly, why would I spend an hour trying to defend it if the person has no intention anyway of doing anything? So I could say to somebody, I accept you had a bad experience and you've got concerns. I'm happy to help work through those. However, if we came to a point where all those objections were answered and all your questions were answered, would you be looking to take action with this? Not really. Okay, so it doesn't really matter that much, does it, whether we address the concern? There are a lot of negative things floating around. The one thing about the internet, I said to someone today, I said in my post today, a lot of people talk about the earth is flat, aliens live amongst us, Adolf Hitler still lives in Argentina, Elvis is still alive, it doesn't make it true. So I say to people, just because someone posts something online doesn't make it factual. Who's writing that review? Who's making that comment? What makes them qualified? Do you even know who they are? Are they actually being anonymous? Are they hiding behind a fake profile? And I've done a very good recorded video about how to handle those things. But, frankly, I realize that it's not my job to convince everybody. It's my job to help them make an informed decision. So I don't get too caught up on what other people are saying. What I say to people is, I want you to make your own opinion, not make a decision based on other people's opinions who probably aren't even involved and have their own agendas. In other words, on their website was they're advertising about some other program or some other training program, things like that. That means that they've got an actual agenda why they're doing things. How do you go back to people who said no? No means they didn't know enough to make a decision at that time or the circumstances weren't right. I always say to people, they might say to me, Michael, it's not for me. And I say, that's great. Maybe it's not the right timing for you. Would it be okay, Tino, if I came back to you in 30 days' time just to touch base and let you know how it's going and see if anything's changed? And most people are going to say yes. And I say, no problem, nothing personal, because my relationship with that person is more important than whether they get involved. So basically what I say, and I do follow up. You can put it in your shuffle or in your calendar, to follow up in 30 days' time and give them a call and say, you know what, Tino, I know it wasn't the right time 30 days ago, and I did promise you that I'll let you know how it's going. I got to say, I'm really happy. It's been going extraordinarily well. How are things going on your side? And you don't know, that could be the right time for them. I'll give you an example. I had a massage client and she'd come to me every week. She worked for a pharmaceutical company. Her husband was in the building industry. They were very wealthy. She had a big, high-paying job as a pharmaceutical rep. Her husband made a lot of money as a builder, and she'd come in every week for a massage, and she'd say, how's that network marketing thing of yours going? How's that network marketing thing of yours going? I say, every week I'd say, going great. Really having a great time with it. 6 years later, she came to me. She just had 2 children in a period of 11 months. Her husband's building business failed. And she walked into my clinic and said, Michael, I think you need to talk to me about that network marketing thing. Think about what I just said there. Patience. Don't get defensive. It doesn't have to be the first time. 6 years later, that person came back to me and wanted to know. Because the point is, my actual commitment and my focus and my determination was not dependent upon anybody else's commentary, anybody else's decision. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I'm just looking at people who want to come along with me on that journey. Okay, last question, folks, then we're going to let you go. Hope it's been helpful today. I hope you got a lot out of today. It's a bit longer than normal, but we did have to cover a lot of content. This will be online as a recording in the next half hour. I'll put it in the groups. It's been my pleasure. I love doing this. I love sharing what I've learned with you. What I'm sharing with you came from real experience. It's not theory. It's stuff that I've actually applied. I get that it's no magic bullets. It's no magic sales funnels. There's no magic scripts. I want you to think. I want you to start thinking about how you present and how you post and what you share people. Don't be an actual robot. I don't want to build robots. We want to help people be real, be authentic. If people see you being non-authentic and being fake, in other words, you're trying to say things how I would say it and it's not resonating with you, they're going to pick that up. They're going to see your body language, your voice and everything, and they're going to say, what's wrong with you? Why are you not being you? So be you, be authentic, be real, find your own way of getting this information across, but think about what you're putting across. Thanks, everyone. It's been my pleasure again. I'll do another webinar next week and love sharing this with you. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks very much.